Louisiana, $4,180 per year. Nevada, $4,020. Florida, $3,916. Vermont, $1,660. Same country, same roads. A $2,520 annual gap between the most and least expensive states for the exact same product. Louisiana, $4,180 per year, 67% above the national average. High accident fatality rates, poor infrastructure, hurricane exposure, and a litigation culture that pushes claim costs higher than any other state. Nevada, $335 per month, the highest monthly rate in the country. Las Vegas and Reno congestion, rapid population growth, rising accident rates, and elevated vehicle theft all compound into one number. Vermont, $1,660 per year, the cheapest state. Low density, few uninsured drivers, low fatality rate. A Vermont driver pays $2,520 less per year than a Louisiana driver for legally identical coverage. Florida, $3,916 per year. Hurricanes, flooding, a 20.4% uninsured motorist rate, and insurance fraud that costs every Florida driver more, regardless of their own driving record. New Jersey, plus 10.46% in 2026, the steepest state hike this year. New minimum coverage requirements took effect January 1, 2026. That law change is directly in the premium. Louisiana, $4,180. Nevada, $4,020. Florida, $3,916. DC, $3,465. National average, $2,496. Every state in the top 5 exceeds the national average by more than 30%. Louisiana exceeds it by 67%. Colorado, $3,244 per year. Mountain terrain, winter hazards, high hail frequency, and rising theft pushed it into the top 5, a position it has held consistently since 2022. Iowa, minus 6.19% in 2026, the largest rate decrease of any state. More than half of all states are expected to see rates drop. The national average increase, just 0.67%. If you want to see the real numbers behind the headlines, subscribe to the Data Desk and hit the bell so you never miss a breakdown. The $208 national average hides a $197 monthly gap between the cheapest and most expensive states for the same coverage. New Jersey jumped from the 15th to the 6th most expensive state in 1 year. The 2026 law raising uninsured motorist minimums pushes it further. NJ also saw one of the largest increases in uninsured drivers since 2017. Texas, plus 60.97% in car insurance costs between 2020 and 2025, the largest 5-year increase of any state. Population growth, more vehicles, and supply chain repair costs compounding in the same direction for 5 straight years. Hawaii, plus 4.17% total from 2020 to 2025, the most stable state over that period. Geographic isolation, limited weather exposure, and a low uninsured driver rate keep Hawaii's market the most predictable in America. Michigan, $3,200 plus dollars per year. Unlimited personal injury protection requirements drove Michigan to among the highest rates for decades. A 2019 reform capped PIP benefits. Michigan remains in the top 5 most expensive states. The state line is not the only dividing line. Within Louisiana, New Orleans drivers pay far more than rural parishes. The state average masks a second gap, city versus rural, inside every expensive state. Part 2, 2023, plus 11.57%. 2024, plus 17.13%, the steepest single-year jump in modern data. 2025, plus 7.56%. 2026, plus 0.67%. The spike is decelerating. 3 years of compounding have not reversed. Advanced vehicle technology turned a fender bender into a $5,000 repair. Sensors, cameras, and driver assistance systems all require specialized parts and labor. Supply chain disruptions between 2021 and 2024 pushed those repair costs to record levels. A single hurricane can total tens of thousands of vehicles. Insurers absorb the losses, then spread the cost across every policyholder at renewal. Florida and Louisiana carry that catastrophe premium baked into their baseline rate every year. Plaintiff-friendly legal systems produce higher average settlements. Florida's tort reform in 2022 to 2023 brought its liability loss ratio to a 15-year low. The reform is working, but the rate relief takes time to flow through to individual policies. Vehicle theft surged between 2021 and 2025. Catalytic converter theft, keyless entry exploitation, and organized rings pushed comprehensive claims costs sharply higher in urban markets. States with higher theft rates carry that cost into every policy. Florida's 20.4% uninsured driver rate means 1 in 5 vehicles carries no coverage. Every insured Florida driver pays a surcharge to cover that risk. Mississippi and New Mexico face the same dynamic. High uninsured rates become a tax on everyone who does pay. Louisiana, $4,180. Vermont, $1,660. The outer ring is Louisiana, the inner ring is Vermont, $210 per month separating them, paid by Louisiana drivers because of where they live, not how they drive. Florida repealed its no-fault PIP system effective July 1, 2026. State Farm cut rates by 10% plus, AAA by 15% plus. Florida's liability loss ratio is at its lowest point in 15 years. The reform is real. Rates are already moving down. EV insurance still costs 18% more than gas vehicles in 2026, down from 23% in 2025. Legacy automaker EVs cost 49% less to insure than Tesla and Rivian models. The gap is closing, but EV drivers still carry a premium surcharge. NJM Insurance in New Jersey, plus 21.18% at renewal. Erie, plus 7.92%. State Farm, minus 4%. Allstate, plus 1.98%. The company you chose in 2023 or 2024 now determines your 2026 rate as much as the state you live in. One ticket raises national average rates by 54%. In North Carolina, plus 137%. A DUI in North Carolina pushes full coverage to $592 per month, 4 times the clean record baseline. Your driving history multiplies whatever the state floor already is. In Connecticut, the cheapest insurer charges $127 per month. The most expensive, $635. A 406% difference for identical coverage in the same state. Shopping saves more than $500 per month in Connecticut alone. Toyota RAV4, $214 per month to insure, 14% below average. Rivian R1S, $477 per month. Same roads, same driver, $263 per month difference based purely on what you drive. The vehicle choice is a third insurance lever most buyers never calculate before purchase. What state are you insured in? Drop it in the comments. Every market runs on different rules. Part 3 has the forward data and which states are most likely to see real relief before year end. New Jersey 2024, plus 20% in 1 year alone. 2026, plus 10.46% projected. 5-year cumulative, plus 57%. The fastest increase of any state. That is the New Jersey driver's timeline in 4 data points. New Jersey's 2026 law raised mandatory minimums for uninsured motorist coverage. That single change is the primary driver of the plus 10.46% projection. NJ also posted one of the largest uninsured driver increases from 2017 to 2023. Florida's July 2026 PIP repeal, combined with 2022 to 2023 tort reform, is producing real rate relief. State Farm filed cuts of 10% plus. AAA cut 15% plus. Florida's liability loss ratio is at its lowest in 15 years. Michigan capped unlimited PIP in 2019. Rates have declined since, but Michigan remains in the top 5 most expensive states. Insurance reform works. It takes 3 to 5 years to fully reach the average policyholder. Iowa, negative 6.19% in 2026. Nebraska, Montana, Alabama, South Dakota, all posting cuts. The rural Midwest is seeing the most relief. Low density, low fraud, low weather exposure, and competing insurers all moving in the same direction. State Farm is cutting rates 4% in 2026. 5 of the 10 largest insurers are lowering rates. Major carrier competition on price, for the first time since 2021, benefits every driver who shops at renewal rather than auto-renewing. National average, $2,496. Louisiana, $4,180. Vermont, $1,660. New Jersey, plus 10.46%. Iowa, minus 6.19%. 5 numbers, 1 map. None of them apply equally to every driver on every road. Shopping at renewal saves $700 per year on average for drivers who compare at least 3 quotes per bank rate. In Connecticut, switching saves $500 per month. The renewal notice is not the best available rate, it is the default. Bundling home and auto cuts premiums 10 to 15% on average. Paying annually saves more than monthly installments. Paperless billing adds another discount. The rate on your renewal notice assumes none of those choices. Telematics programs reward safe driving with 10 to 30% annual savings. In Louisiana or Florida, that translates to $400 to $1,200 per year in real savings on the most expensive state baselines in the country. Texas, plus 60.97% in 5 years. No tort reform passed. No PIP repeal scheduled. Without legislative action, Texas rates are unlikely to meaningfully correct from their 2025 baseline in 2026 or 2027. The American car insurance market is 50 separate markets. Where you live sets the floor. Your insurer, your vehicle, and your driving record determine how far above or below that floor your actual bill lands. The 2026 national average increase is 0.67%. That number means nothing in New Jersey, where plus 10.46% is already filed, and everything in Iowa, where negative 6.19% is already filed. The average does not describe your bill. Vermont to Louisiana, $2,520 per year apart for the same legal requirement. What does your full coverage cost annually? Drop the number in the comments, and we will see you in the next data file.